Mhm. Ah, I take it somebody who's expecting me to speak. All right, so there's the help that I have needed through all of this, which is someone in person to look at the evidence and to help me to make the police do their fucking jobs. What is it that I am the most pissed off about? Good question, right? Well, for starters, there's a whole bunch of people who didn't bother to find out what the hell was going on. And they want me to stop whatever I'm doing to catch them up on what's going on. They want to give me suggestions of things that I've been trying. A lot of people type shit at me like, Sean, if you need a friend, you need somebody to talk to, blah, blah, fucking blah. No, you know what? No, no. I am not going to talk to you one-on-one unless you're actually going to fucking help me. I'm not going to waste my time with another Aaron Cockerham. There's lots of people who say, hey, Sean, I'll be your friend. Call me up and talk to me. Shit. I call them up to explain what's going on, that I need help. And they want to drop all of their shit on me. Like, holy fuck, I'm not your goddamn therapist. You offered to help me, remember? And then you talk about yourself nonstop. People say stuff like, Sean, you ever think about writing a book? Shit, I've been trying since this fucking thing started. But with all of my time and all of my money and all of my resources being eaten up, like shit, I can barely function well enough to make a fucking video. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you go back and take a look? That'd be a lot easier. And a lot of these people are like, well, I just heard about your case. I just heard about it. I just heard about it. And I get that you just heard about it. But the fact is, just because you just heard about it doesn't mean that I haven't been going through it for the last 3 years and I don't have more stuff piling on top. I'm just trying to get the information out there as best as I can. And I know that most of y'all don't mean this as an insult. You don't do this to insult me. You don't do this to be a dickhead. You're just curious. But I don't need somebody who's just curious. I want need somebody who's going to do more than just be curious. I need someone who can actually take the time to go through it with me in person. When I moved back to Colorado before Natalie was killed, I moved back to Colorado for two reasons. Number one, so that I could be closer to my loved ones, so that I could actually see them. And number two, so that I could go to the services that are along the Front Range. A lot of the people who promised to help me, see, between explaining to people, starting over from scratch with every single person, like, holy fuck, every single person I have to start over with again. And I'm not trying to be a dick. At this point, I'm sick of repeating myself. I've been sick of repeating myself since before Natalie was killed. There's a lot of people that just want to hound me with questions. Like, I'm having a hard enough time trying to explain the things that are going on right now. And then I have to go back and explain a bunch of other stuff that I didn't just explain. I posted the evidence on here. And I got people every so often, they send me the same stuff that those web wing nuts were sending me. Hey, Sean, I'll be your friend. Sean, if you just talk to me, I'll be your friend. No, I don't need somebody just to talk to. I mean, there are times where, yeah, having somebody to talk to is helpful, but that's temporary fix. All of the issues that I had before Natalie died, I've got all of those same fucking issues now, except 100 times fucking worse. And all this Black Lives Matters bullshit, and I do mean bullshit. It's racism. It is. It's not any more right the other way around. I mean, look at that situation with Zaid Atkinson. There are a lot of fucking racist issues. A lot of them. I mean, how many times have we as homeless people had to listen to the cops talk about us like we're fucking dogs or worse? I love dogs. I really do. We mean less than dogs do. Homeless people in the United States are not human to the United States. Now, we can agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. The fact is, most of the people who offered to listen, I end up listening to them fucking talking for hours. I mean, oh my fucking God. Shannon Alvarado, when I first started talking to her, she was one of three people that I was able to actually get a hold of to give my number to so that I could actually explain it to him. But Shannon Alvarado is an alcoholic. She ended up talking the whole time. I end up hearing about her problems the whole time. Most of these people that threw me away, you know what they threw me away for? For telling what their reasons were for not keeping their word. But then there's the fact that every single time that they're going to keep their word, every single time they fall through. You know, eventually you get to the point where you're like, you know what? I don't think you're fucking interested in doing anything. I don't think you're interested in hearing the word that I have to say. And with Shannon Alvarado, I spent so much time listening to her talk about her friend Marnie. Like, all right, we're always listening to you talking about you, Shannon. That's not help. when I went to Shannon's, that was a last ditch fucking desperation thing. I mean, honestly, I'm glad that she ended up just being an alcoholic and not a meth head. I thought she was a meth head. I really did. Between taking a look at evidence and treating me like shit, lots of people who offered to help, well, they wanted to treat me like shit over what other people said. Well, why don't you take a look, Darren O'Connor? Why don't you take a look, Dan Faber? And then I got people like Kara Johnson Miles. This woman was pretending like she was an autism advocate. She was supposed to be. Now, mind you, this is Rochelle Shelley Campbell, one who's ex stepmothers. This is supposed to be her friend who's going to be this autism advocate who's going to help me. Meanwhile, this woman was slandering me left, right, and center the whole time she's pretending to be friendly. And thank goodness for Shannon Alvarado, the alcoholic, who showed me what was going on with that. Now, at any point in time, was I ever allowed an honest day in court? No! I wasn't even allowed to go to court dates. I was illegally prevented. The police fucked up, and they fucked up big. And they needed to wear body cameras. And I've been speaking out about this for years. Now we got this whole Black Lives Matters crap, and it is crap. I mean, seriously, there is a comparison that you can make that makes perfect sense, but are you doing it? Pretending like it's only happening to black people. Fuck no, it's not only happening to black people. See, here's the thing. In Zaid Atkinson's case, Darren O'Connor, and many other people, including Tony Kovaleski, had to ignore the fact that these things happened to me first in order to pretend that it's a racism issue. There are lots of actual racism issues. There are lots of racist fucking cops. There are lots of racists in this very fucking town. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I'm of Hebrew descent. I'm not exactly well fucking liked by the Nazis either. I'm not exactly the most loved by the KKK or by the Airheadian fucking sisterhood. And you goddamn right I speak out. And with all these people who aren't understanding, I've gone through fucking 3 years of this. 3 years of people in foreign places telling me, hey, I'll help. Sean, tell me the story. Sean, I got 10 million questions for you. Fuck. How many times do I have to answer those questions? And then there's people who just want to hound me like, hey, Sean, I didn't catch this part. I didn't catch that part. I didn't catch this part. I didn't catch that part. So I'm constantly stopping to try to appease people who are just, go back and take a look. This feller John Doe is typing stuff over on the side here. I know you didn't know. I'm aware. Most people that are hopping on now didn't know. The reason that I've been speaking out for the last 3 years is so that people would know, so that I wouldn't have to continue to repeat myself. But you know what? Here I am repeating myself over and over and over again. As far as starting to write a book, start writing a book. I had a lot of my information stolen, a lot of my evidence stolen, and that's all on YouTube here. Not just me talking about these situations, but these actual situations. Of course, there's also thousands of videos to go through at this point. Why is that? Because people keep asking for me to explain it to them. So I start over from scratch at the very beginning. And I'm overwhelmed. I mean, literally, I just want someone to blow my head off. I'll dig my own hole. But if I'm somewhere peaceful, there is no fucking reason why you need to come fucking harass me. There is no fucking reason that you need to travel to a different fucking county and fucking stalk me to where I finally get some peace and goddamn quiet and I don't have people throwing fucking beer bottles at me and fucking beer cans over shit I didn't fucking do. Goddamn meth town. No, I don't want nothing to do with Jackie McKenzie. She's a meth head. This whole town survives off of racism and methamphetamines. That is what this town fucking is. Now, one of the things that we need to make sure of is that situations like Waylon Lottie and Officer Burke being transferred to Boulder County after assaulting people. No, these officers fucking assaulted people. They belong in prison, not jail, prison. And because these officers knew what they were doing is wrong, beyond any shadow of a doubt, there should be no bail set. If these officers are allowed to set bail, then they have more rights than the people that they victimize. Most of us didn't even have access to a telephone. Now, a lot of y'all, you go, oh, well, there's fucking telephones in every jail, isn't there? There certainly is. And when you're too broke to have money on your fucking telephone, you don't get to make those calls. It's like having a vehicle out back. You live 20 miles from town, and somebody says, hey, you could drive that car into town. It's out of gas. It does me no good. It's out of fucking gas. But thanks for the idea. That's a wonderful thing for you to offer, but that doesn't change the fact that it's got no gas in it. Now there's hundreds and hundreds of situations that I have had to deal with in the last few years. Hundreds of them. Lots of ignorant fucking goddamn wingnuts. I gotta deal with Ashley Woodman and all of her bullshit. God, she's been a drama monger for as long as I've known her. And there's Chris Kurth. Man, that little fucking piece of shit. You know, here's the thing. I really do want Chris Kurth to try something. I want his friends to try something. I want his family to try something. Don't be bitches. Don't be fucking threatening me. Fucking do it. Don't talk about it. Be about it. I said I would expose sexual predators, and I've been doing so. I said I would expose these officers, and I've been doing so. But I get ignored because I'm not the right color. Because I don't have enough money to hire an actual fucking attorney. And because I was illegally prevented from having the things that a disabled person is supposed to have in this scenario. By law. There are laws specifically in place to prevent what happened to me from happening. Those laws are already in place. That's something that Black Lives Matters needs to get through all of their heads, and all of these white racist motherfuckers got to get through their heads too. We're all stuck on this fucking planet together. I'm not going to pretend that it's okay because it happened to somebody that wasn't black. Are you out your goddamn mind? Then we got people who want to type up these little fucking things like, saying all lives matters is like you're fucking your girlfriend and you say, do you like my dick? And she says, I like all dicks. Are you fucking serious? That's really the analogy you're going to try to fucking use? That's fucking ignorant and you goddamn well know it. Now let's move on. Let's move to the one where it's Bob. We're supposed to pretend that Bob represents all black people. And Bob is sitting at a table with a bunch of people, and Bob says, hey, Bob deserves food. And everybody else at the table says, everybody deserves food. And then they all continue eating. Well, right there, you're insinuating that this isn't happening to anyone else, that nobody else is going hungry, that nobody else is being victimized. Oh, well, we can't focus on you because you're taking away from black lives. Excuse me, but what Zaid Atkinson did, what Tony Kovaleski did, what the news did, and what Darren O'Connor did was exactly that. They took away from the real issue because they wanted to play the race card. There are lots of people in the United States who have to actually deal with actual racism. Zaid Atkinson is just a fucking pussy. He wasn't even fucking assaulted. He got the most preferential treatment that you are going to fucking get in Boulder. Am I saying what those officers did is right? Fuck no, what they did is absolutely wrong. When they murder homeless people, none of you give a fuck. We're not human beings to you. You think it's easy for a Jewish guy to fucking live in a goddamn town full of racists? And no, I'm not Jewish. My family were Jewish, and then they converted to Christianity. Why did they convert to Christianity? Because Christians are fucking evil if you're not Christian. And then I got people saying, oh, well, how do you like it? How do you like being treated? Your life doesn't matter, fucking whitey. Bitch, my life hasn't mattered since the day it fucking started, motherfucker. My parents didn't give a holy fucking goddamn about me. They gave a holy fucking goddamn about cocaine. So a lot of people want to get pissed off at me because I don't want to fucking start over from the beginning every time a new person hops on. I don't. I had asshats harassing me for damn near a year. I'm like, dude, the evidence is on there. You guys want to keep on saying, Sean, why don't you post up some evidence? I posted up lots. Are you looking? No. You want me to start over because you started up. And next week, someone will go, hey, I just found out about your case. I want to be your friend. I'll listen to you. I don't need somebody to listen. If you actually want to fucking listen, I've got a whole YouTube here that's full. Start at the beginning. It was Zaid Atkinson. He had to deal with one situation with those police. One. And he wanted to whine like a fucking baby about how he's afraid to leave his house. Bitch, you ain't stuck homeless. Zaid Atkinson was targeted because the police thought that he was homeless. And by the time they realized that he wasn't, It was too late for their pride to allow them to back off. They thought they were going to get away with it, just like they do with the homeless. And they do get away with it with the homeless. I get that it's hard to find John Doe. John Doe typed it's hard to find. I get that. That's why a lot of my stuff that's in here, I post up links. But when I got somebody, my computer literally dinged at me all night last night. And it's mostly from one person who didn't mean any harm. It's not like I was going to get any sleep anyway, so they didn't. It's not like the person kept me from sleeping. At that point, it's just an annoyance. Now, all these people telling me that, oh, Sean, I was going to help you, but I can't. I got to take my son to the hospital. His jaw was broken, and so on and so forth. And then every time after that we set it up, oh, no, I got to take my son in for this, or my daughter in for that, or so on and so forth. And that's why there's supposed to be people to actually help. There's supposed to be actual help for children who grew up in foster care. There is plenty of laws that are set up to make sure that what happened to me doesn't happen. The problem is that just because the law says it doesn't mean that the cops are going to follow it. It doesn't mean that the caseworker isn't going to be fucking lazy. Lots of people are on the other side of the world, and that's why they ding me at all times of the night. Most of the time, I turn off my computer. But I was waiting on somebody last night to hopefully get back a hold of me, and it just never happened. And by the way, it's somebody else from the other side of the world. A lot of people make burner accounts, and there are so many of those. Like shit, if you're too much of a coward to show your face or share your name, you got some issues. See, when I made that account to commit suicide, to destroy my Facebook before I committed suicide, I didn't try to hide who I was. At no point in time did I try to hide who I was. Shit. You ask me who I am, I'll tell you. My name is Sean David Schwartz. Let me show you something about my smile. John Doe typed it. It was nice to see that smile. No teeth on the bottom. No teeth on the top. I have no teeth. The thing is that the police intentionally neglected the harm that was being brought on me by others. I tried to turn in Cody Sellhorst, or sorry, not Cody Sellhorst, but what's that little bitch's name? Give me a second. Chris Kurth. I tried to turn him in 2018 to Cody Sellhorst. Cody Sellhorst blew me off. Fuck that piece of shit. Cody Sellhorst said that he would go talk to Chris Kurth. Apparently, nobody came to talk to him. To this day, nobody came to talk to him. You know what else? That conversation recorded between myself and Officer Holloway. Since I was told nothing new, or it needs to be something new, I'm not allowed to bring up this old stuff that they didn't do their jobs about. And I need help to do these things. Telling me to do something that I've been working on and been cut off from repeatedly, maybe it's important to find out why. Now out there in the farm, West Lodgepole, that was a nice place until I was stalked out there. I get stalked everywhere I go. I mean, actual stalk. It was nice to be out there for a couple of days and not have people fucking throwing shit at me and not having people fucking threaten to kill me. And then, sure enough, here comes fucking Chris Kurth like a little bitch, hiding behind somebody else, slandering my name. And it's okay. It's okay, isn't it? Because I don't have the money for a goddamn lawyer. Meanwhile, I'm not having to deal with one or two fucking people. Something that all these pieces of shit who stabbed me in the back didn't want to pay any goddamn attention to. So many people thought, oh, well, you know, they found Natalie's killer, it's over. No, the cops did a lot of fucking illegal shit before and after Natalie was killed. But I don't have any actual help in person, and the longer it takes to get help, the more hell I have to go through. But I'm not black enough for the ACLU. I'm not black enough for Black Lives Matter. I'm not black enough to be what? A human being? You have to be black to be a human being? You have to be black to be a victim? Is that what you want to tell me? No, what I want is a goddamn bullet in my fucking head. Every time that I finally think that there is something decent in my life, I got to deal with more assholes like Chris Kurth. All of these fucking predators I've tried to turn in the past. It is well documented on my YouTube and my Facebook. Respectfully.